Gotham, a crazy podcast about DC, with your hosts E-Rock and PD. When we speak up, get your geeks up, cause you know you about to get geeked up. So sit back, relax, and get comfy. Lose your mind like Solomon Grundy, and listen to a show that won't be forgotten, coming straight out of Gotham.
Hello, everyone out in the DC universe. Welcome to another episode of Straight Outta Gotham. This is episode 129. We are a fandom pop culture podcast and a proud member of the Batman Podcast Network, hosted by Batman on Film. Make sure you check out all the other great shows on our network by heading on over to BOF and clicking the podcast drop down, because there's a bunch of other shows out there you guys should be paying attention to as well. I'm your co-host from the other side of the Hudson River, senior contributor to Batman on Film. I'm Peter Arvera. Today we're recording on September 23rd, 2023. Yeah, well, that's a lot of twos. As always, we have a great show for you today. But before I get into the good stuff, I'd like to remind all you, our faithful listeners, if you take the time to rate and review our show on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, and we read your review on air, you won the Straight Outta Gotham monthly prize pack. So get over to iTunes and start reviewing. And now let me introduce you my partner in crime, the pride of Hofstra, the champion of Long Island. Ladies and gentlemen, he has come back from conquering Texas. Eric Holt.
Hello, yes. Thank you, Pete. Yeah. Last week was the trip to Texas. So,
you invaded? Did you invade and conquer?
Of course I did. I mean, come on. No, I had a really good time. Was the Jets disappointed, but the game itself, notwithstanding, the stadium is fantastic. It's huge, literally, like, I couldn't believe how big it was. The grounds around it beautiful. There's a Jets team, a Jets like fan group down there that put together a tailgate. So we had gotten involved with that beforehand. So I mean, that's the video, guys. If you guys are part of the Facebook group, I took video while I was there. That's the video I was showing you guys from the tailgate.
It's interesting. So, we actually got some mail, believe it or not.
We got mail
since Eric's trip from Texas.
Great. I can't wait.
Let me just get this open here. Let me just read this. Alex from Tomball. Hey guys, love the show. Last weekend I was at the Jets Cowboys game. My family has season tickets. My mom never met up with us for the post-game tailgate. Does Eric have any idea where she is? Josh from Waco. Last weekend, my Aunt Trudy heard Eric was going to be in town. She was going to search the AT&T Stadium parking lot for the champ. She never came home. Hasn't been at work for a week. Is she with Eric?
I'm sorry. I don't
Mitch from DeSoto. I want to thank Eric for having an affair with my wife for 14 years. Now I have means for divorce. Thank you very much. Oh, by the way, I love the podcast. There's a lot. There's a few more if you want to keep going. Can
that guy win? Can that guy win the rate and review for us?
It seems that you did him a solid favor and literally threw him a bone.
I do what I have to do, sometimes.
But
the other two, no. I mean, it would have been nice to have seen them, but no. I could only do so much in the short amount of time I was there.
Yeah, apparently.
But
apparently you did enough.
It was fun, man. I had a good time. Got to do some other things I never did before. Like I went into downtown Dallas and I did the JFK tour, assassination tour, which was interesting.
I did that my first trip down there in 2017. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It was kind of eerie be on Delaney Plaza and all that jazz. It was, because you've seen it in textbooks how many times.
Yeah.
And actually be there. It hadn't really changed much. They kind of preserved it.
Well, no, I didn't know that was there built like in the 30s or something like that. I learned on this trip that Dealey Plaza was built way before that. And I mean, it sucks that it became famous because of the Kennedy assassination, but yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful little place. That plaza outside of the tragic event that happened. Very, very nice. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, it was cool retracing the steps. And then my tour took us to the Oswald rooming house where Oswald was staying in Texas, in Dallas. So
okay, I didn't go there. That's
it was on the other side of town.
Okay, that's cool.
So the Texas Theater, I got to see the Texas Theater as well. That's still there. They still show movies.
Did you go inside the depository?
No, it was closed. It's closed. That museum is closed on Mondays and Tuesdays, and that's when I did the tour was on Monday.
Oh, that's a bummer because you could actually look out you could see like they have like I think they have like a mannequin or they have like a prop set up, something like that, and you could see the window that he shot the rifle from. Like
well,
they
we
have
could
it
see.
cut off.
Yeah, we could see that. Like you could see it from the street, the window, because they have it there with. So they have it.
But you could be in the building. It's cool. They have like mini movies and displays and all these things. They did a good job of like making it like historically cool. You know.
That well, next time I'm sure it's weird. I've been to Dallas more times than I ever thought I would. So maybe next time I get there,
that's
I will
the power of Batman on film, man.
Seriously, man, that's what it was.
Dallas has become the center almost of our world.
So yeah, I never thought I would.
We should all move out there. It's cheaper to live. You imagine the house we could buy with our tri-state money in Texas. That'd be fun. That'd
probably
be fun.
Man. Yeah,
have some nice houses. It's a lot more affordable.
Yeah, I definitely. Like I said, I never thought.
Could you handle being around that many Cowboy? I'm trying to think. Like it would be easy for me.
Dude, Cowboys fans are all over the place anyway.
That's what I'm thinking. Like it wouldn't be like if I moved to like I don't know Maine, where I figure is Boston country.
Yeah,
right, New England. I figure I can do that.
Yeah, there's so many Cowboys fans. They're a national team, so they're all over the place. There's so many. I can't believe how many are here in New York. It always pisses me off when our teams play them and people sell their tickets.
I mean, my generation has tons of them. I mean, the Aikman years.
Yeah,
it was really popular. So, dude, there were a lot of kids who had the Cowboy starter jacket growing up, right?
Oh yeah.
Is that a little too old for you? Young for you? You remember?
No. I mean, I was
the pullover starters. Like for us, the Hornets were very popular.
I was in high school, so yeah. I mean, that's when the Cowboys.
Yeah, you guys were still wearing that stuff, right?
Yeah. Was that? It was the Georgetown Hoyas was a big one. A big starter jacket. I have the old cream colored Tampa Bay Bucks. That was a big one. That orange one.
The Ducks, Anaheim.
That was a big one too. Yeah.
The purple.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, and the Hornets. Yeah, that's the other one that probably was the next big one. That was when like all the, I guess the off colors that we consider off colors were starting to become popular. So like the Carolina blue and then the cream color orange and the creamsicle colored orange, that all that stuff was getting popular at that point. And then Georgetown was popular because of Allen Iverson. Like there was a lot of things.
I don't remember Georgetown. I don't remember Iverson being that popular until he was on the Sixers.
Oh no, he was popular in college.
Maybe I was just too young. I mean, I'm sure I was still young though.
Yeah, you were. You were still a young guy. But no, those jackets were, man, bringing back some memories. I probably still have my Jets one somewhere. I probably still have it. I'd have to find it, but yeah. So yeah, I had a really good time in Dallas. So thank you everyone out there for the hospitality.
What was your favorite thing to eat, like stadium wise? Did you have some good stadium food?
No, because I ate at the tailgate.
Oh,
so I didn't eat inside the stadium. I did go to the Biscuit Bar, which I don't know if you've ever been there. We went there for breakfast. That was pretty cool. And then I went to this diner, this Southern style diner on Monday. I actually posted the Bloody Mary I had on my Facebook account. So
that's where that was from. Okay.
Yeah, that's where that was from. Yeah, it's like a meal in and of itself. All the nice little appetizers on top of it.
A good Bloody Mary goes a long way.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a fun trip. It was a good trip. I went with a couple buddies, and then Monday I had on my own. I was by myself. So pretty cool.
And you like wandering the streets of Dallas. You're known for that. Like when we went down for the Batman, Eric would just walk around from the hotel aimlessly like he was in Manhattan.
I mean, well, before I met up with you guys,
because there's only like two buildings. It's like the hotel, and then the buildings across the highway. Like it's not like crossing 7th Avenue.
Yeah, we were in Plano, and I wanted to. Before I met up with these guys, I wanted to go get something to eat. So I knew that the shops were down there, and I was like, "Is it really that far?" So being a New Yorker, I'm like, "Let me see if I can walk it." So I did. I walked over to the shops that were there and had dinner that night before I met up with you guys. So yeah. But I can't believe how many times I've been there. Like it's crazy how many times I've been to Dallas, for numerous reasons. But
I've been there twice, so I imagine I would go. I'm going to go again at some point. That's why I was just talking to Nico. Like my next like travel destination would probably be like either Chicago or LA, because I can knock out 2 baseball stadiums in one trip.
Yeah, the Chicago one I want to do. So if you're looking for someone to go with or to add on, if you didn't mind, I'll definitely do that.
Because I also know Angels tickets are dirt cheap, so we save a lot of money on that. Justin was telling me Angels tickets they just like give away for free.
Well, LA should be fun too, though, right?
Yeah,
so
that's what I'm saying. Dodger Stadium, LA, and then you could go to fake LA for the Angels.
Yeah,
Anaheim.
That would be fun. That'd be
I'm like,
trip.
well, right. I don't care less if Shohei's there or not.
I know.
I just want to see the ballpark.
I agree. It'd be a cool place to, it's like one of those places.
It took a lot of inspiration from Yankee Stadium, Angel Stadium, actually, when they built it.
All right. Well, that's good. Yeah. So we'll look into that.
SOG on the road.
Yes. I'll take another video. By the way, I was not drunk when I took that video. Not yet, anyway. When I took the video.
I didn't assume you were.
Just wanted to let everyone know.
I mean, does it matter? I mean, you're not saying much.
No, I wasn't saying much. So, but someone who did say a lot recently in a Variety article was David S. Goyer. He was on the Happy, Sad, Confused podcast, and he talked about, which was something we all already knew, when they decided to do Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice, they wanted to do it, of course, to compete with the MCU. So he said, and I quote, "I know the pressure we're getting from Warner Brothers, which was, we need our MCU, and it was like, let's not run before we can walk." The other thing that was difficult at the time was there was this revolving door of executives at Warner Brothers and DC. Yeah, there's nothing new. Every 18 months, someone new would come in. We were just getting whiplash. Every new person was like, we're going to go bigger. He goes on to say that the person running Warner Brothers had pitched 20 movies over the next 10 years. They released the slate. But
that's Sujihara. He's definitely talking about Sujihara there.
And none of them had been written. Not one of them had been written. So that was a crazy thing. He goes on to talk about Nolan's involvement with Man of Steel.
And this is where Eric gets angry.
I don't get angry.
Once he hears that N-word.
I always knew that. That was fine.
A lot of this stuff we already knew, though. Like, it's not new.
Right.
It's no news day.
Yeah. I mean, he said that Goyer and Nolan were the ones that came up with the concept for the Man of Steel. Which I knew Nolan did. I didn't know. I knew he obviously wrote The Dark Knight.
I didn't know it was because they had writer's block during Rises that they came up. Like, I knew that he came up with it during Sides. I didn't know it was like he was having, trouble writing the finale of Rises, so they took a break, which I thought was cool. Like, I was like, oh, that's I wish more DC movies happen that way.
Yeah,
it almost feels organic.
I know
for it to happen that way. But yeah, no, I thought it was cool. I thought that also I had no idea Ridley Scott had a brother until this article.
You didn't know Tony Scott was his brother?
No, I had no idea. I really didn't have any idea.
He directed Top Gun.
But like, I guess I never realized it or put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh wow. I was like, that would have been really interesting because he's directed some great movies in his own right.
Oh yeah, definitely. He also talks about the David Fincher Blade project. He said that he developed a draft of Blade with David Fincher before he'd even done Seven. So before he'd even done the movie that everyone got to really love him for. He did Alien 3, which obviously wasn't that well received, but he said that he laid out 40 to 50 books of photography and said, this is the movie.
It's also sad to hear him and Wesley's relationship just seems to be deteriorated into nothing,
Yeah.
He didn't say much, but what he did, he didn't let you believe, he didn't let you to believe that it could be repaired. So, which is sad because they did some good things together.
Yeah, the first 2 movies are really good. The third one he directed though, which is the one that's not received well.
One of my favorite parts actually from the podcast, because I listened to the podcast and I thought it was really great because Goyer covers a lot of stuff, is how the studio was really like, I think Nolan saw the writing on the wall and was like, I think he knew at some point the studio will run my product into the ground. You know, I just feel like he kind of like he saw what they, not that Joel like did that himself, but he saw like Tim Burton started it, Joel finished it, and the studio kind of ruined it, right? Like I feel like Nolan was like, I don't really want that to happen. So while they're nudging him like, hey, Riddler, part 3, Riddler, and he's like, nah, right. We don't do that, first of all, and we're kind of figure it out. You know, like the studio, you could tell the studio was definitely like, come on, can we get like a more classic? I think they wanted more of a classic comic book movie, you know, going into the third one, and Nolan wanted to kind of wrap it up.
Right.
This way to ruin it.
Right. I think, and I also think the studio probably wanted to get all of the core 4 villains in.
Right, which is why they want Riddler and DiCaprio at the time. And this is nothing. It's like, this is funny. Like, if you've been reading or listening to Batman on film for like the last 10 years, you're like, oh yeah, I heard this on the podcast.
Yeah, a lot of it.
A lot of this is like BOF rehearsing almost, because like this is where you heard it.
Yeah, it was kind of reaffirming information that we already knew.
You know, like, I've heard this from the old gunslinger himself.
Yeah. So,
but it's cool.
Yeah, more directors were talking. So the directors of Batgirl, Adil El Arbi and Bilal Fallah, recently spoke to Insider, and they talked about The Flash specifically. And they said that they watched it, and I'll quote, was their quote. We watched it and we were sad. The Flash, talking about The Flash. We love director Andy Muschietti and his sister Barbara, who produced the movie, but when we watched it, we felt we could have been part of the whole thing. We didn't get the chance to show Batgirl to the world and let the audience judge for themselves, because the audience really is our ultimate boss and should be the deciders if something is good or not, or if something should be seen or not. Our movie was very different from The Flash. That has a big fantasy component. Ours was more grounded, more like Tim Burton's Gotham City. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, I get what they're saying. I think they see, because essentially their movie is a sequel to The Flash. You know, right. Like it's the new timeline. Keaton is the Batman, and you know there's the heir apparent in Barbara Gordon. Yeah, it's a bummer because it's probably like the last real gut punch they'll see that will remind them, like out in the open. I guess I'm sure they'll have like their memories of Batgirl in general, but like, you know, The Flash was publicized for like home video and all this other jazz, and I'm sure it's the last bit of that. So you know, they won't be as reminded as often. But
right,
I'm sure it's a little fresh because like, oh yeah, we did. It came out, they bought it, they watched it or whatever, right? And you know, and they were like, this is where we would have gone, but
yeah, but they did say again. Yeah, they did say again that they would do it if they got another chance. They would do it. They would come back and play in that sandbox. So who knows? Maybe they get another shot to tell their story. It obviously won't be Batgirl, but they might get a shot to tell another story.
Would you be down for a Batgirl like releasing? Would you? Did you want to see it? Or do you want to see it complete? Like, or do you want to see it as is?
Well, I mean, I definitely want to see it. I mean, we've heard so much about. We've heard so much about the plot of it. There's parts of the film that we got to see. So I definitely would want to see it. But yeah, I would rather it be finished. You know, you don't want to, you know, if there's like wires in the shots or things like that from production cuts that they couldn't get out or didn't have the time to fix, I definitely would want that stuff to be taken out and, you know, it to be a cleaner copy, a cleaner cut of the movie. So, but yeah, I mean, I feel bad as someone. I mean, we've all created something or done something in life where people have been like, nah, you know, we don't want it or we don't want to show it. So it's kind of, I feel bad for them. I can understand where they're coming from.
Yeah. We had no idea what was coming when that first got announced.
I know.
We were so shocked by it all that we had no idea. It was just the first domino in a whole bunch of yet pieces to fall.
Well, originally, remember the first time we heard about it was Whedon was going to do a Batgirl when he actually was doing Justice League.
Yeah, that was the original cover up.
Remember? So that's crazy how we finally did actually get a Batgirl film that was not released anyway. Kind of a nutsy thing. One thing that was released many years ago, and I know you love the movie. I tend to lean on the side of not loving it, but it's got parts in that I love, and I'm talking about Batman Returns. But we knew this, but Michelle Pfeiffer almost lost the role of Catwoman because of her previous dating history with Michael Keaton.
I just thought it was funny to pop up again like 30 years later.
I know,
why
right?
is this a thing? This is how like slow it's been for like news that this is news again after 30 years.
Yeah.
But well, they were talking. I forgot about it until now.
Yeah. They were talking to Robert Wall, who of course plays Alexander Knox in the film. He told the Hollywood Reporter that Michael Keaton and Michelle Pfeiffer had previously dated and broken up. At the time, Michael told me he was trying to get back with his ex-wife. Keaton was firmly and underlined firmly against the casting of Pfeiffer. So he didn't want her to be in it.
He got to fight with Peters about it too, which is interesting.
Yeah.
It's just funny. I was like, man, they are pulling at straws.
Yeah, but I mean, it's cool that she said that she loved working with him. It was a great experience.
I love Batman Returns. Like the chemistry is off the charts.
Well, yeah, like you can tell in the movie between them that they had previous chemistry. It's very evident. Because to me, that's the best part of the film. Their relationship is the part of the, and Max Schreck, he's just fantastic. But to me, their relationship is the best part of that movie. So, yeah.
I mean, Danny DeVito's the best part of that movie. Danny DeVito's still the greatest comic book villain. His Penguin is still the greatest comic book villain of all time. Like Thanos,
of all time?
Of all time, yeah. Dude, Thanos has got nothing on DeVito. DeVito's just a weird child kidnapping fiend.
Better than Ledger?
Yeah, dude. Ledger's like, he's not DeVito. He's not DeVito enough. He doesn't need any, like, dude, I don't even think Heath really eats that shrimp in the scene where he invades the cock. Like, DeVito is like eating a whole fish. Come on, man.
That's your bar?
That's my defense.
That's your defense.
DeVito ate a whole fish. Like, I don't think Heath even like. Remember with the champagne, he flung it out before it could get to his mouth. So like, come on, DeVito, he ate a whole fish. A whole fish.
That's interesting.
That's it. That's my defense. That's my defense.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that.
You don't have to. You don't have to.
I mean, for what they asked for from him, I thought he did a good job. I just didn't love the portrayal, but
it's a bit,
yeah,
it's deeper than what you're used to.
It's fine. Wait, than what I'm used to? What?
Yeah. Just a little bit. It makes you think.
Like, wait, hold on a minute. Yeah, of the two of us, I'm the one who goes to like the artsy films, who'll go see those kinds of movies. You don't.
Yeah, but you go there, you don't understand them. You just go there so you're seen, and then people are like, "Oh, look, Eric artsy. Eric is artsy." Not only did he break up that nice little couple that sat here across from us last weekend, he's also very artsy.
Okay. I didn't know I did that, but okay, that's fine.
Oh, I've got more emails.
Oh, you have more emails? I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do.
The question is, we won't do that. Sally Chesterberger going to leave you a voicemail?
We're not going to do that right now. We're not going there. So, let's stick in the Tim Burton mind space right now, because he had recently been talking about
all these stories have been connected.
Yeah, they actually all have been. So he gave his opinion on the Flash. Again, it's more of the Flash stuff, and he specifically talked about Nicolas Cage's appearance in the film. So he talks about, he was talking with in a conversation with the British Film Institute. He talks about the death. He talks about Superman Lives, and he says, "No, I don't have regrets. I will say this: when you work that long on a project and it doesn't happen, it affects you for the rest of your life, because you get passionate about things, and each thing is an unknown journey, and it wasn't there yet, but it's one of those experiences that never leaves you." So that was his quote specifically on the movie itself. But he said he was very much against having Cage appear in the Flash. He says he's in quiet revolt. That was a funny quote. But Burton's an interesting guy. Like, he's a very interesting guy. But yeah, he also talked about AI and CGI specifically. He said It also goes into another AI thing, and this is why I think I'm over it with the studio. They can take what you did, Batman or whatever, and culturally misappropriate it, or whatever you want to call it. Even though you're a slave of Disney or Warner Brothers, they can do whatever they want. So in my latter years of life, I'm in quiet revolt against all this.
I mean, that's a lot to say about nothing. I mean, I don't know. Like, I liked having Keaton come back in the Flash, and I thought it was cool to have, Tim Burton's Nick Cage Superman have a cameo finally for, fighting a giant spider. Like, it all hit with me. I'm sorry that if it didn't for other people, but I appreciated it. I'm sorry Tim doesn't feel that way, but he can feel however he wants. So he always has weird takes. At one point, I think I watched the John Schnepp's Death of Superman Lives What Happened documentary, and it was just kind of funny because, like, at one point it was like, Joel Schumacher ruined my Batman franchise and he ruined my Superman franchise at the same time. It's kind of funny. I don't remember if it was him or somebody else saying it, but it's like, I don't know, it's a quote that floats around and pops in my head and, makes me think of that. But I don't know. Again, bummed out he didn't like it, but overall, like, I enjoyed it really.
I mean, I would think, and this is just me, but I would think if I had a concept of something that was out there and it never got to see the light of day, but then someone in the future said, you know what, I want to pay homage to the fact that they actually even went this far with it, I would think that that's pretty cool. Like, yeah, that's like, how I would look at it. Be like, thank you.
It's kind of like, I think you're on the right track there. Yeah, it's sad he didn't see that. It's not really like I don't know if these guys think that like there's other people like stole their ideas or something, but it's like, no, it's kind of like honoring you because you never really got to see it finish. Like, all we got to see is Nick Cage try on a suit. Like, we got to kind of see him, like, okay, and he kind of looked like a bendy figure, which I thought that was fine for what the movie. Like, it doesn't bother me.
Yeah, it's always interesting how, like you said, how creatives think about their projects, because some of them will probably think it's a very reverent thing, like, thank you very much. But Burton's just a weird guy. Like, he's just a weird guy. Obviously, if you've ever watched his movies, he's weird. He's got some pretty weird ones out there. Good, I like them. Most of them I do enjoy. And because I think he's just kind of upset though, because he hasn't had a win lately.
Really?
Wednesday, I guess. Wednesday was a win.
Yeah.
But film wise, I can't think of a film that he did in a long time that was received well. So
yeah,
I don't know.
I'm with you on that. Yeah.
Right.
You should get him to direct one of your biographical mini novels.
Mini novels?
Yeah, one of your one of those your journals that you write. Have him reinterpret that in a live action.
I don't write journals, but okay.
Yeah, well, you're right. Well, your memoirs, whatever you want to call, whatever masculine term you want to use, so you don't sound like you're writing in a diary of like a 15-year-old girl.
No, don't do those either.
War journals. That's whatever he wants to call them.
Mm-hmm. No, none of those either.
Halsey notes.
Nope, none of those. Nothing.
The scriptures. The Holzman
scripture. The scripture. All right.
The scripture of Holzman.
I don't want to get in trouble with any religious type, so let's please not go down that road. No,
that's it.
Don't. Let's not say scripture, please. Let's not go there. I don't need the Christian right coming after me.
Oh God. Where's this Holzman? Where's this champion of Long Island?
Right? Yeah, I don't need all that.
I heard he had some scripture I had to read.
Yes. Trust me, it's scary.
Did he write these with his feet? I can't read this.
Oh,
do you have neat handwriting? Do you have neat handwriting?
I don't. No.
No?
I do not.
Chicken scratch? So you do. You write with your feet. All right.
I don't. It looks like I do, but I don't. I wish I could. I think that'd be cool. But anyway, let's stick with Batman because, hey,
that's what we do.
That's what we do. There's been a lot of Batman talk, so we'll stick with Batman, and we'll bring it full circle without going to the Batman. Right, 2022, the Batman. Yes, we were down. That's another time we were down. We were down in Texas.
That's right.
For the watch party.
Yeah.
Recently, Matt Reeves spoke to The Guardian about the scene in Arkham shot between Robert Pattinson and Paul Dano, Batman and the Riddler. And this is what he had to say. So he says they took 2 days on the final scene between Paul Dano and Robert Pattinson as Batman, and we must have done easily 70 or 80 takes. Paul loves doing a lot of takes, and so do I. And he says that the reason it took so much is Paul loves exploring. He's obsessive that way. There were all these moments as the Riddler where he'd be tickled by something and then fly into a rage, and you never know from take to take where that switch would come. I'd be sitting there with the headphones on trying to stifle my laughter because he'd always do something surprising. Paul would ask me, was that crazy? Was that too much? And I'd say, no, it's fantastic. Let's do another.
Yes, sir. May I have another? I think that's great. It just shows that they're on the same page, that they're willing to do whatever is necessary to get that perfect scene done. Like, they're just dedicated to their craft. You know, you got two guys who are probably overly obsessed with their craft, right? That they have to get it. It's got to be perfect. So,
I mean,
we benefit from that. So thank you.
70 or 80 takes. That's a lot of takes.
And is it the one where he's singing too? Because I imagine it's not. If it's that, I'm curious which exact scene it was.
Yeah, it's the one at the end where they're in Arkham, and he goes to see him after the murdering spree. He's arrested after he gets arrested.
Oh yeah, so like that's like, you know, yeah. Dano does his thing. You know, he's out there.
Oh, he was great in that scene. Yes,
you know,
like he was fantastic. But I wonder now. I do wonder though if what we saw was cuts of different ones put together, or if
that's possible. You know, like this, it's like, right. Oh, you looked more deranged here than you did here. Like, yeah, right. I'm down. Like that's what they call movie magic, right? And that's what we love about movies is chances are we probably saw like 3 different takes in one scene. You know,
it's possible.
Or we could have just seen one amazing take. I don't know. I don't care because the movie was phenomenal. Kowalski.
Dude, the way, I mean, I still say this about the film. Robert Pattinson's eyes should have gotten nominated for an award.
Yeah, that cow was great.
His eyes were so important in that movie. And of course, the way they were shot is you give a big to the cameraman. Obviously, he gets a big part of that. But man, he said so much without saying anything sometimes, and so it really was a well done movie. Very, very
yes, it was.
Very good movie.
It was really nice to see, you know, that be the final product of the Batman after kind of what seems like to be like online struggles, at least for the fandom, the past couple of years.
Yeah,
I think we all pretty much united. It was like, yeah, this is really special. We all really enjoyed this.
Yeah, I mean, people obviously everyone has different levels of how much they enjoyed it, but for the most part, I think fandom really embraced it. You know, looking back, so I think that and the next one's coming. So
that's what she said.
It is coming. It's set to be released in 2025, guys. So a little over a year.
That's it. What can Holzman do in a little over a year? What can he conquer? Who can he stand?
It's not about me.
Come on, Eric.
It's not about me.
It's about Eric. You're the star.
It's about
the star.
The public.
The star.
It's about the fans.
You are the main character of life. I heard you were singing at traffic lights the other day.
I was.
What were you singing? I heard you were singing at traffic lights the other day. What were you singing?
I was singing Quit Playing Games from the Backstreet Boys.
Playing games with my... Come on, Eric. Come on.
And I had the windows down because it was nice out.
He's so embarrassed right now retelling this story. He literally he's like Kool-Aid right now.
And there was a family in the car next to me, and I'm not thinking anything of it, whatever. And literally, I stop and I look over, and they're like, all clapping and stuff. Man, it was embarrassing, but
Eric is available for bar mitzvahs, sweet 16s, weddings.
It was a cool story. It was a cool time. Fun little thing. Middle of the day. I still can't believe it. Yes, I am red. I did turn red for that. I'm blushing a little bit.
He is. Eric loves his singing. He's singing. I remember one day he'll release the audition tape of American Idol and Kiss from a Rose because we're all dying to see it.
I didn't sing Kiss from a Rose.
We all know you did, Eric.
I wish I did, but I didn't.
He should have. He did.
He's got
it on tape. A young Holzman. A young blonde Holzman.
It was, yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That was, how many years ago was that?
American, it was like 2003.
Well, no. Right? I think it was 2000. Actually, yeah. Yeah, it was around that time, 2003, 2004.
Yeah, I think so. 20 years.
That's when I auditioned. Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy time.
Look out, Momoa, punk ass. 20-year-old Holzman kicking you down.
So let's switch houses. Let's go over to Marvel. We're all waiting for Daredevil Born Again to come out. At least I am. I'm interested to see what that show is going to be like.
It's a sequel? Is a reboot? Sequel?
Well, that's what we're talking. That's what we're going to get to. That's what we're getting to. So Stephen DeKnight, who was the showrunner of the Netflix Daredevil, recently took to social media to criticize Disney for running a scam. It's an old Disney scam where they slightly rename a series to reset contract terms back to first season. Needs to be addressed by all the guilds, unions, and crushed. So
shady, Walter.
Yes. So basically what he says is he's not going to get a penny from Daredevil Born Again because they added the Born Again and can claim it's a completely different show. With the exact same two lead actors playing Daredevil and Fisk. So I don't know, man. Like this is the way with the strike going on, which breaking news, apparently they're like at the finish line for a deal. So we're going to hear about this soon. Don't know when, but I'm assuming it's going to be this week. We'll hear about a deal between everybody, and maybe we can get back to creating some stuff. But DeKnight also continued and went on to say he can't wait to see Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio reprise their roles, but to claim this is a complete reboot and you don't have to pay the original creatives is some corporate shenanigans, to say the least. Now, yeah, with the climate, with the strikes going on, and I thought this was very cleverly done by Stephen DeKnight. I'll just put it like that. I feel like he put it out there at the right time because he knows tensions are high, and if he can get this addressed during the negotiations, it's something else that they'll win on. And if you get the public behind it, it's a good thing.
Hey, you're using his actors. You're basically using his suit, right? I mean, you're kind of relying on the storylines of the past. Like, I think he should get something. It's not as much of a reboot as they let us on to believe.
No, it's not. It's totally not. Yeah, no. I mean,
to be honest, I don't remember where I stood on this issue back in the day. Like, to be brutally honest, I feel I have no idea what I was leaning on because I could have probably been trolling Justin about the opposite just for fun.
I mean, just watching She-Hulk, right, or watching Hawkeye when we saw the
No Way Home.
Yeah, like we know it's the same character. Like, it's the same exact Matt Murdock. It's the same exact.
And originally, those characters were in the MCU, right? They were always the redheaded stepchild.
Yeah.
Right? Remember, they never called him the Hulk, but they called it the Incident in Harlem, the green one.
Right.
So, like, they were always more connected to the MCU than the MCU was to them. Right. I don't know if this is an issue because they don't want, Jessica Jones running around Disney just kicking ass.
Or Luke Cage.
Yeah, that's basically porn compared to Disney.
Man,
Jessica
Jones.
I mean, come on, Jessica Jones getting it.
It surprised me, man. That show surprised me. I didn't think I was going to enjoy it as much as I did. I really did like that show.
Season 1 was great. Purple Man, yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, it was good. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I don't like when this happens. Just give him his credit. You could even put like based on characters created by him if you want. I don't know, but I don't like when this kind of stuff happens. So we'll see how.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems like it's a big trend in Hollywood where executives are being real sleazy, and they're not really, paying the people who came up with the ideas. This guy should get something.
Yeah, I mean, he cast the roles. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Again, like I just said, the WGA and the studio CEOs are nearing the finish line on a deal, and they're working on the fine print. So maybe we have at least the writer's strike. Maybe we have coming to an end. I don't know about the SAG-AFTRA one. I don't know about that one, but we'll see what happens. So once again, I don't know if this was based on the strikes, but Loki is coming. By the way, inside the terminal at Kennedy Airport, they had on the wall while I was walking through the hallway, on the wall, both sides, they had these huge TVs just continuously showing the trailer of the for Loki. That's what I'm getting to Loki. And I couldn't believe it. I'm like, wow, they're really promoting this thing. Like, even here in the airport, I don't know if they bought out the space or whatever, but it was pretty cool to see.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what they do, because like this season of Loki just did not. The first season just did not really strike with me. I thought it was kind of boring. So I'm interested to see what happens this season. I'm still going to pay attention to it, but I'm curious.
Yes. So they changed the premiere date by a day. It was originally supposed to premiere on October 6th, but the new premiere date is October 5th at 6 p.m. So all subsequent episodes will drop on Thursdays at 6 p.m. So a little bit of a shuffle, but it's still coming. It's just a one day. They just moved it up one day. So yeah, I'm very interested to see how this is. This one looks, I agree, the first season was a little hard to get into and slow, but from the trailer, it actually looks like this one's a little bit more action packed. So you might like this one a little more, Pete, if you're gonna give it a shot.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, I've watched. I don't expect it to be like, Gotham Knights or Batwoman. I don't expect it to be like up there with those guys. But I mean, I'll check it out. Just it's probably more along the lines of like an Arrow than anything else, if I had to pick.
Which is better than both Gotham Knights and Batwoman. Okay.
Well, if you watched season 3 of Batwoman, you would have been blown away as I was.
Yes, the infamous season 3 I keep hearing so much about.
Infamous season 3 of Batwoman.
What's so good about it? Tell me, what is the...
I've been telling you, it's way more faithful. You get classic villains. Poison Ivy is really good in this.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a wonderful love story all intertwined in there.
Okay.
It's really right up your alley.
I still don't think I'm going to see it, but okay.
You're not going to watch.
I'm not.
You don't like good TV. You're going to watch, what is it, Candor?
Andor? No, see.
Whatever.
You're probably talking about Ahsoka, which is out right now, which is fantastic. Oh my god, yeah, a fantastic show, by the way. Slowly becoming my favorite Star Wars TV show, even more than The Mandalorian, even more than Andor. I'm really enjoying it. So, not that Pete cares, guys, but I'm just talking right now.
Okay. Oh god.
All right, so let's staying within Loki. We'll keep going because we have a little bit more of the story now. We all know the stuff going on with Jonathan Majors, his off the screen problems that he's having. He's got to appear in court, but apparently, his new Kang villain is a big part of season 2. So that's should go along.
It's really interesting how big his character is. Like this is like his fourth appearance. And I feel like they've been pretty big appearances, right?
Right.
Like it's not like Thanos where he just pops in for a credit scene. He pops in everywhere now.
I know. He's a huge part of. Obviously, they're doing a Avengers on him, so what they have going on, and that's why it's such a huge deal what happens with the actor, because I mean, as we know, these things are going to go on. So if they have to move on from him, they will. I mean, that's just what they're going to do. So this time he is appearing as Victor Timely.
Mm-hmm.
That version of Kang. So we will see. I don't want to get too much into it because I want people to watch the show and learn, but we will see what happens here. But this is the quote about him. The showrunner said, Victor Timely is somebody that we are very, very excited about. When you look at Kang, he has a very funny comic backstory. He has all these iterations. Timely was the one that we've always wanted to do in Loki, and I think we're really excited about how that integrates into the season. It's a big part of the show. So
Maybe this will make it interesting. I don't know. Because he only popped up at the very end of Loki.
Yeah, he was in the last episode.
Yeah. Yeah. So
So
maybe he'll be a bigger. I mean, if he's going to be a bigger part, maybe he'll be throughout. But it'd be interesting to see. Because what was it? It was Ant-Man that ended with him, and there was a bunch of them, right?
yeah. Yeah. Have you still not seen it?
What?
Ant-Man?
No, I saw him. I actually liked Ant-Man.
Okay.
I thought what they did with MODOK, I thought like the CG. I thought that's the way they stretched his face out looked a little funky, and
So bad.
what they did. But like that's like I was with everyone on that. But I enjoyed the movie otherwise.
Yeah. I didn't.
I liked the Paul Rudd daughter thing.
Outside of Majors, I thought the movie was very, very lacking. He was fantastic, but
He was good. I mean, it was a lot more about him than anything else. But
it was pretty much his introduction into the MCU, and they just threw Ant-Man in
But I
around
was
it.
into it. I didn't think it was bad. I like the Ant-Man movies.
Yeah, I only like the first one a lot. The second one's okay. This last one, I could have done without. You're not going to win them all. So.
Yeah, I agree. Remember, two bad seasons of Batwoman, and then the third, they struck gold.
Mm-hmm. I'll take your word for it. Anyway. So I can't say her last name, but Hildur Gudenauer, maybe? She's recently spoke about her A Haunting in Venice score and the influence of Sicario and then Joker 2. So she explains why she's not really on the internet because she's nearing the completion of the Joker 2 score. So she gave a little bit of insight about it. I'll first talk about the what's it called? What's the movie again? Haunting in Venice. Sorry, which I haven't seen yet, but I plan on seeing soon.
I like these movies with this guy with his funny mustache.
Yeah, Poirot.
Yeah, I like those movies. I like the first one. I don't think I saw the second one. This is like the third one, right?
Yeah, it was Death in the Nile was the second one.
Because that
The
had
first
Gal
one,
Gadot in it, didn't it?
yes, and
Okay.
what's his face? Armie Hammer.
Johnny
That's the last movie he was in.
wasn't Johnny Depp in one of them too?
He was in the first one. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen the one with Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
I dig it. It's cool. I like them. Like it's like a cool idea. I like his funny mustache.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, it's based on
Can you do a
books.
mustache like that?
I can't.
You should do that. Dude, if you could be him for Halloween, that'd be aces.
I can't though. I can't. Sorry.
You just, you know what? You don't want to have fun today. That's it. You just don't want to have fun today.
It has nothing to do with having fun. I just,
Sidney Crosby over here.
I can't do it. My hair is not like, it's just too straight. So I'd have to. It would take me a really long time.
Yeah, we'll have to get a hairbrush and all this jazz, some gel, beard balm. We'll take care of it.
Yeah, but it's a good interview, guys. It's an interview on THR.
What I thought was cool was she came up with a score for Joker before the movie. So like when Joaquin is dancing, he's actually dancing to her score. Like I thought that was cool. They basically did all those scenes with him dancing and doing all those cool moves. Like that's basically like when he's listening to her score. Like she scored the movie well before she even knew that what the movie was going to look like, which I thought was awesome. Interesting.
Yeah,
I was like, wow, you could tell me the lotto numbers because you predict the future. Right. Like, how do you know what this is going to? Suppose I don't know how many other people do that. Like I always feel like they see the movie and then they score it. You know, so yeah, I thought it was cool that she did first.
Yeah, the score obviously is fantastic.
And she uses a cello. I thought that was interesting. Like I was like, oh wow, that's what that instrument is. Okay, cool.
You didn't know what a cello was?
No, I didn't know that was the instrument she was using. Oh. Like I'm not like a big music guy. Like I like music, but I can't make music. So I don't know about instruments really.
Okay.
So when I found out that she's playing the cello, I was like, oh, okay, that's what that is. Like I wasn't sure what instrument it was at all.
Yeah, I mean, hearing it, you know, it's some kind of a string, right? So it's either a cello or a violin or. So
I think it was a violin.
Yeah, I knew it was something like that. But yeah, that was interesting to find out. You're right.
So it's cool.
So yeah. But definitely check out the interview, guys. She talks about Sicario, she talks about A Haunting in Venice, and then of course she mentions Joker too. And again, her thing is she says she doesn't want to be influenced by anything, and she doesn't want to talk about it with anybody, so that's why she's steering clear of social media. Which, hey, that's probably, I think we all should probably do that. I think our lives would be better if we steered clear from social media from time to time. Took a break. So, but obviously this movie is one of the movies I'm really looking forward to. I thought the first one was fantastic. And this one's supposed to be a musical. I don't know what level of musical we're getting, but
I don't know, but that's part of the excitement. Like, I'm so interested and curious about a movie. You know, a lot of these you walk in, you kind of know what to expect.
Yes.
I don't know what to expect here.
I know. It's true. It's very true.
How crazy can it be when people see your cameo?
I don't have a cameo. Sorry. Couldn't figure it out.
Oh, they cut it?
Couldn't get the timing down.
Damn it.
So,
Eric.
Yeah. It happens.
I was really excited for that.
It happens. Hey, it happens. Sometimes things don't work out in life.
I read an article recently. It was about the Jets, and it was, should they trade for Kirk Cousins?
No, first of all, you didn't read that article. You're completely making it up because there's not an article that exists.
I sent it to you. And I sent you, maybe it was a meme or something, but I sent it to you somewhere. Remember? I did send it to you.
Mm-mm.
I was just wondering if you thought that would be a good idea for the Jets.
I don't think you should make stuff up like this.
Well, they talked to, what was his name, Chad Henne, and he said no, so.
Well, he's retired.
That's fine, but they could still trade for Kirk Cousins.
Whatever. Like, I don't know.
Like, what do you think they should do?
I'm good. He makes too much money, so I'm good.
He does? What about, are you like content with Wilson?
Dude, once Rodgers went down, the season to me was, I don't want to say over, but changed. So now
it definitely changed, but you don't.
I'm just hoping they get into the playoffs.
Oh man, like I'm so dying for like a big trade. Like this is like this. I feel like this would be so NFL like, because like I feel like no one really gets traded in season. You know, like I just kind of.
Well, we just had a trade.
No, like I'm talking like a big one, like a kind of like there's no like. At the trade deadline, you know, like everyone's always like, "Oh, are the Angels going to move Ohtani, or is Manny Machado on the trading block?" Like something like that. Like, I don't know. Is it possible?
Well, last year Christian McCaffrey got traded, and he's arguably the best running back in football.
That's a good call. Yeah, that's another one. But like, it's rare. It's a rare thing in the NFL.
It's becoming. Yeah, it's becoming more and more. It's happening more and more recently.
I would love a Jets trade deadline thing, man. That'd be great.
Well, that means they traded for Rodgers, so I don't want to give up any more draft capital. And
win now, Eric. Win now. Jet Life Stadium.
Miss me with that. I don't need that. No. And I don't understand why unless Minnesota loses this week, I don't know why they would trade him. Like, they have nobody behind him. So what? You're gonna waste Justin Jefferson's rookie contract? It makes no sense. I can't see them trading him at all. They have no answer outside of Cousins.
Is there a backup quarterback that you would want on the Jets? Like, where's the Steve Berlines of this era? Right? Like, honestly, like, where are those guys?
The Frank Reichs?
Yeah, like, where are they?
I don't know, man.
The Jeff Hostetlers, like, where are these guys?
It's the position is, the starters get paid so much money that it's tough to have a quality backup and pay them for that as well.
Like, wasn't Sanchez's backup Mark Brunell at one point?
I think so.
Right? Like, where are these aged quarterbacks? You know, like, I'm not saying Tom Brady should ever be like a backup quarterback, but like,
I mean, I don't want Joe Flacco back. They could have him. I don't want him back.
Right. That's one that's failed and gone. So I mean, who else is around?
I mean, there's nobody really.
Like, where's Jay Cutler? Can he still play?
Some people would probably say he couldn't play when he did play.
What about Joey Harrington? Could you bring him?
Okay, now you're really going down the.
Well, the thing,
you're really going down the well here.
Retired guy, yeah.
Man, I can't.
Just because I want something interesting to happen. Like, oh man,
what, you want them to sign Kaepernick? Like, what?
No. I don't want. I'm not talking about them signing someone. Actually, as much as I am like them acquiring like somebody else's backup, just to be like, yeah, I think this guy's better. Like, oh man, what if you guys traded for Fields?
But that would do nothing. Like, that would be the same situation they're in with Wilson.
What if, I feel like he could be. You don't think Fields is a little bit better than Wilson?
He can run. That's the difference.
Right, so he could do something.
Yeah, but it's not going to help.
Get creative, Mister Hackett.
That's not going to help. I mean, there's just
man. Where's the good backup quarterbacks?
There really aren't any. I mean, Colt McCoy is literally a free agent, and I thought he was a good best
option. Really?
But yeah, I mean, there are guys they could sign, but I don't know. To me, like I said, when they put all their eggs in the Aaron Rodgers basket, and it blew up in their face like it always does. So I'm good. I'm good now. Whatever happens this season is gravy for me. If they make the playoffs, great. If they don't, that's fine too. I hope Zach develops a little bit. That's the only thing I hope. So,
but you're still there watching. You're rah-rah, and you got your.
Of course, I'm a fan. I'm gonna watch. You still watch the Yankees, right?
Oh, have you heard? Like, I'm not watching this team anymore. Like, all the guys on the radio are crazy. They all drop. Like, I watched last night's game. Judge had a crazy game. Like,
if you're a fan, you'll watch.
That's all I got. I got one more week until spring training. Like, that's literally where I'm at, man. Well, from Yankees baseball, I still have a whole month of playoff baseball, so at least there'll be nothing but good baseball to watch for the month of October. Everyone who knows how to actually play the game will be there.
Well, who's the guy who pitched last night though? He's
Weaver.
Yeah,
just some guys called up. I guess I don't know.
I love that.
I was impressed with Florial. Florial played. I know he got thrown out of third, but I thought Florial has been playing well. Pras been playing. I honestly think if the Yankees do anything, they should just let all the kids stay up, including Florial. Let them battle it out for left field, and in the meantime, figure out what you're going to do in center field. That's really it. Whether it's sign Bellinger because then he can play first base because you don't know about Rizzo or whatnot. But yeah, I think they let the kids battle out in center field and left field and figure out what you want to do in center because Dominguez will be back at some point. Yeah, let Judge play center field until Dominguez gets back.
He'll be back next year at some point. Yeah. So,
and let Stanton play right field. Just do it. Just do it. And if he breaks his leg, he breaks his goddamn leg. Like, I don't know what to tell you,
dude. He's terrible.
He's having a bad year.
Yeah, not bad, terrible.
He's having a bad year. It's a bad year.
Dude, he's batting like 191 or something like that. It's terrible.
Yeah.
That's not bad. That's terrible.
It's not a good year.
When you're a former MVP, and almost, he had 56 home runs, 58 home runs? How many did he hit?
59.
59? Yeah,
yeah. I mean, he's hit 25. He's missed some games. He's not Judge, but yeah, he's not always
misses games. That's the problem. I'm done. I'm done with
all right. And
if they can move him, then move him.
Well, they can't. So
I know it's tough.
Stanton's here, and I've just accepted it. Stanton's here because you know what? He'll always have a good at bat in the playoffs. He'll always hit a big home run in the postseason.
How many more years is his contract?
Like 5.
Jesus Christ,
that's a long time.
Holy crap!
He's gonna be here for a while.
Great.
Jeffrey Loria came up with that idea.
I don't know what they could do, man. I mean, I hope
I want to visit Miami. By the way,
I hope he rededicates himself and has a good off.
I don't think it's not him trying or needing to rededicate. I just think he's having a very bad year.
Well, he said it. He said he needs to do something different.
Well, I'm glad he's trying. I'm glad he's not one of these stubborn guys who's like, no, I don't know how to do this. He's like, I'm going to figure this out. So
it's going to have to become more flexible and less muscular. That's what he's going to have to do.
Sure. I'm sure it's easy to lose muscle. I feel like you don't do anything. Go on vacation.
Well, no. I mean, the type of muscle, right?
Don't lift weights. Don't lift heavy weights.
Yeah, he needs to. Yeah, he needs to definitely change how he's lifting. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
From Eric Holzman, personal trainer.
It's been a rough. I mean, I don't look it, but I've done a good share of I've done a good share of lifting in my life, so I do know a little something about it.
He slept with at least 4 personal trainers.
Oh Jesus, here we go again. God. Anyway,
your sexcapades are some people's wet dreams.
It's time to go. It's time to put a bow on this one.
All right.
So Pete, tell them where they can find you.
You can find me all over social media: Twitter, Instagram, Mastodon, Threads, and Zack Snyder's favorite platform, Vero, at Pete Illustrated. If you want to follow this podcast, the podcast you're listening to right now, check it out at straight_o_g on both Instagram and Twitter. Instagram's been a little inactive. That's my fault. I forgot about it. Sorry, guys. We have a Facebook group and a Facebook fan page. Consider joining both. My other podcast, my Spider-Man show, Italian Spider-Man Coalition podcast, at Italians for Spidey. Check that out. Batman on Film podcast, Batman on Film YouTube, BatmanOnFilm.com. I'm all over that website. I basically dominate Batman on Film these days. My name's all over the front page. It's a glorious, glorious thing. I've done it. I've reached the pinnacle of fanboy mountains.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, shut up, Holzman. Let me enjoy my moment.
Go ahead.
And I think that covers everything. On to Holzman.
Yes. Thank you, Pete. Of course, on Twitter, finally 33, spell finale 33. As Pete mentioned, the show handle at straight_o_g. We both monitor that, so you can find us there if you so choose. Where else? Oh, my New York Knicks weekly show. I do every weekly live stream every Wednesday night at 8:30. It's been almost every other week now because it's been slow in the last month and a half. So we've kind of been doing a show every other week, but once the season begins, we will start doing every week again. You can find it's called All Nicked Up on Twitter at all_nicked_up. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook Live, Twitter itself.
X. It's X. I forgot.
Yeah, I know. I'm never gonna be able to not call it Twitter. X sounds stupid,
right?
So just check out the show again if you're fans of the New York Knicks, or even if you're just a fan of basketball. We talk about the NBA in general. So
if you're a fan of Holzman.
Yeah, if you're a fan of me too, you can check me out over there. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how many fans.
They listen to this show. You've got fans.
That's true. The people who listen to this show, and I'm sure there are Nick fans among you. So definitely come check it out if you want to. If you want to, hear us talk about basketball, it's a fun little show. We're changing things up a little bit, adding a couple new elements to it. But it should be interesting going forward. Anything else I want to talk about? No.
That leaks American Idol audition.
I think we're good.
No? Okay. All right. That's it. Eric's done. Time to go home. Time to pack it up.
I don't even have... They don't give you a copy of the audition.
They didn't give you a copy of the audition? So you're going to have to redo it. You're going to have to reenact.
No. It was a day like this, by the way. It was a day like this.
It was a rainy day in Long Island.
No, I was in Chicago. I was in Soldier Field in Chicago.
And was Daddy Bats out there?
Daddy Bats was not there. Nico was like 5, so he couldn't have been there.
Wow. So you kidnapped Nico and brought him to the American Idol audition.
He could not have been there. Zeddy, no Zeddy either.
No.
None of them could have been there.
They weren't there?
They were in school, learning.
Preschool.
Probably
preschool.
So no.
Somewhere in Chicago, Nico was playing with blocks while Eric was singing "Kiss from a Rose" at Soldier Field.
I did not sing "Kiss."
Was it the 50-yard line?
No.
Were you in the end zone?
They had it. No, it was on the sidelines. So they had everything set up on both sidelines, and then they had like little stations where you basically went out. You gave them like 30 seconds of a song, and it's yes or no. And I got past that one. I did get to the second part. Then you sing in front of the executive producers of the show.
Ooh.
And yeah, I didn't get past that part.
So you bet Simon Cowell?
He would have been next.
Oh, you didn't even get to him. So he was the third level.
Yeah, him, Paula, and Randy at the time with the original 3, they would have been next.
Wow, so you made the conference finals.
Yeah.
I guess actually no. That's the quarterfinals, because conference finals would be that, and then I guess the finals would be the show.
Well, no, I got to the semifinals because after that, those three decided whether you went to Hollywood or not. So yeah, that was the semifinals.
So you were in the semifinal. Wow, semifinalist, Eric Holtz.
So yeah, I mean, it was a cool experience.
Yeah, I'm sure,
but yeah, didn't get on the show, unfortunately. I was hoping just to get to the part where you sing in front of the judges, like those three judges.
But you were going to stare down Paula, weren't you?
Didn't. I was just going to go out there and sing.
You were just going to go. I'm going to go out there, and it's going to be extra Holzimon.
This is pre-Holzimon days. This is not.
Whoa, pre-Holzimon?
This is before that. This is before.
So this is like Jockwalad.
Jockwalad? What?
Yeah, you're like half jock. You're in your jock phase.
I guess. No, this was after that too. It was after my athletic playing days and before Holzimon. So yeah.
So this is your frat boy days then.
I guess.
Yeah. That's what it seems like.
All right. Let's shut it down.
I thought we did. Oh, we're still recording. Okay. I thought this was show.
No, we're still recording. Everyone's going to hear this now. So
that's right. Okay. This is the epilogue.
Yes. Yes. All right. So unless you have anything else.
Ooksis.
All right. So for Pete, I'm Eric. You're listening to Straight Outta Gotham. We'll see you next time.
Booyah.